What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome to the Sooner Surge podcast that tells it like it is. We got four of us on here today to break down this little instant reaction rubber match, Sooners versus Bama, and Alabama wins on a walk-off home run in the bottom of the eighth inning. A pitcher's duel, to say the very least. I mean, Riley versus Landry both pitched phenomenally. The ump tonight, that they were getting the ball at the knees, and it was difficult to get hits. And the Sooners, though, guys, in the seventh and eighth inning, lead five runners on in those two innings combined. It was just, it's inexcusable. This team is struggling at the plate. It's very clear. Now, I do think that this team is going to find it, and hopefully at the right time. They got three big SEC series remaining. But hey, before we get started, make sure you like the video, you comment, you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't, and check out the fan stop at thefanstop.com. Not much excitement from the Sooners on the offensive side, guys.
No, Jeremy, you said it to start. Oklahoma, top of the seventh, bases loaded with one out, have your leadoff hitter on in Cassidy Pickering. Jeremy, Jay and Braden couldn't get the job done. I think that's the spot in the game in which you're like, this is the best opportunity Oklahoma's had the whole game to take the lead in the game, score a run or more, and Cassidy Pickering just fails to come up clutch for Oklahoma, in which Oklahoma this whole series, or not the whole series, I shouldn't say, but this final game when they needed the clutch hits the most from certain players, their best players at times, they couldn't step up and get those hits, and that's an issue. Now, Jeremy, you said, I think Oklahoma is going to find it. Sam Landry, she's been awesome for the majority of the season. She's done great. I think Oklahoma, they still need to find a second arm. Kirsten Deal didn't look too great versus Alabama. She's been very up and down this year in the game she pitched. Audrey Lowry, you would hope she's that, but she's been hurt and she's gotten a limited opportunity since. So, but Jeremy, as you said, this team, they've got to find it. They've got to find players that can make clutch hits whenever it's needed most, or just even for somebody even maybe to draw a clutch walk.
This isn't about who the second pitcher is today. It's about this team's in a slump. They're just in a slump. Jay, what are your thoughts?
I mean, my thoughts, it seems, this is the second time in this series they faced Riley, and I don't believe they scored a run against her in the two games. I think the concern I have is, Jeremy, you say slump. I get it. My concern is when this team faces good pitching, that would be my concern. Because I look at the lineup, and I'm just going to – my concern is you had a lot of young players that have not been in postseason. When they get to postseason, Jeremy, you can shake your head all you want. Parker, Pickering, Sanders. Name another one that's played at OU and been in the postseason.
No, I'm not talking about that. Did those three forget how to hit, Jay? Because they're in a slump too.
Jeremy, I agree with you. They're in a hitting slump. I agree with you that the team's in a hitting slump. But I also this is back-to-back series loss in the SEC.
Right.
It's not going to get any easier in the SEC. You still got Texas. You still got Florida. So I think, could you say it's a slump, or would you say?
Yes.
Would you say, let me finish. Would you say it's a slump, or would you say they're facing difficult competition and that's what it is?
I'm leaning towards slump. Braden, what are your thoughts on today's game?
You can't keep runners on base.
They're straining way too many runners. That's a problem. But it's not even that. It's like it's the clutch hits, but it's also they've kind of went in a slump power-wise. There hasn't been a whole lot of power as of late.
Did you guys like the benching of Emmerling and Sanders? I did. In fact,
I did.
I thought Emmerling came up to bat and she got a hit down the line. It may have opened her eyes.
Hey guys,
Sanders
you know who's in a pretty big slump.
Someone needs to mute.
You know who's in a pretty big slump, and I don't think people are talking about it very much. Dayton. Dayton's batting .303 on the year now. So I think everybody expected more, probably average-wise, from Dayton. But you got Sydney Sanders at 300. Garcia's dropped. Garcia's kind of came back to earth a little bit. She was on such a heater there for a while. I expect it from her. She's a true freshman. I think the Pickering tonight, I mean, you have bases loaded, one out. That was the one. I mean, and the first baseman I thought the first baseman made a good play on that because that ball was up high. She reached up and grabbed it and made the play. I was kind of curious. I don't know if it would have mattered, but what do you think about not sliding at home there and just running through the bag like at first base when there's no tag needing to be placed? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't really think it matters, Jay, because I think no matter what, the play is going to be made in time. Oklahoma, at the end of the day, you can talk about, did she need to slide? Did she not? Oklahoma's got to make the plays when they're there, and they didn't do that in this game. And that's what's frustrating because even last year, Pickering and Parker, whenever Oklahoma needed plays, they would make them. This year, Ella Parker, she was in a slump for a long time. She's starting to get some hits now. Whenever you need to play tonight the most from Cassidy Pickering, she didn't make it. I mean, it's just with this team, you got to have somebody that's going to step up and say, I'm going to be the player you can rely on in the clutch. It's been other players at certain times, but it's who's going to be that player whenever it comes time for the playoffs in the World Series.
It's different, though, with Parker and Pickering. Last year, they were true freshmen on a team loaded with seniors. They didn't have to be the D1. I think it's a little different when you're expected to be the one as a true – I mean, they're true sophomores, and they're expected to just be the take over and be the heroes every night. It's got to be a team effort. I don't want to underestimate Sam Landry. Unbelievable performance. She is truly the ace they need going into as they get closer to postseason. I think she's a shutdown pitcher. The problem right now is even when she's pitching great, they're having trouble winning the game, and that's an issue. And so we'll see. I think this team can. They're going to get the bats turned around a little bit. I just think I have to see them do it against some really quality pitching consistently, and I haven't really seen that in the SEC. I think that's where I'm kind of like, man, I'm kind of waiting to see what's going to happen here down the stretch here.
Right, and I think, in these next few series, it'll be interesting, I think, to see how this team is going to respond because either one of two things is going to happen. They're going to respond great, like we know Oklahoma has done for the longest time under Gasso and start to make some plays and find it, or this is a young team that can get in their own heads and they start to lose a couple series, and obviously you don't want that to happen, but with how young this team is and the inconsistencies that have been there, that's a realistic possibility as well.
Yeah, I think you can't lose back-to-back series after today.
Well, they already lost back-to-back series.
You're muted, Jeremy.
They've lost back-to-back series.
Right.
Mississippi State, you cannot lose the series. You've got to sweep them. And then you need to win both series, Texas and Florida. You need to win 2 out of 3 against both of them. Look, I know I've been ripped by several. People call me a homer, whatever. When it gets to the regionals and super regionals, I'm not picking against Oklahoma. And you know what? If there was a dominant team out there right now, I could say, okay, this team's unbeatable. There isn't one. There's teams losing all over the place. OU has to find their bat. And by the way, it is a slump because they've proven they can hit. I mean, they're number 5 in the country in home runs, I think, going into this game. They're in a slump. It's this sudden 2 or 3 game stretch where they just can't hit the ball. Something's got to click. I tell you what else I'm disappointed in. And we knew this was a possibility. There's just not much energy. Even when they get a base hit, like there's just not much. I don't know what's going on. There's just not much energy. I need to see more.
Yeah, but Jeremy, I think where I'm a little bit different. I think is when you look at the SEC play. I mean, you can go back all the way. Arkansas series was probably the last series OU just tore it up offensively, and then you get into Tennessee. Even Missouri, they had the first game. I think they run rolled Missouri first game, maybe 8 or 10-0. I don't remember, but they run rolled them, and then you lose to Missouri 3-1, and then you beat them 5-1. But as far as offensive just outburst, they haven't had one since Arkansas, really. I mean, just like consistently. I mean, And that's, I mean, the Tennessee, I think maybe the most runs they scored in the game there was 4 or 5. So that's all I'm saying is it's the numbers once they've gotten SEC play. And who would expect otherwise, guys? SEC's loaded. The College World Series is going to be loaded with SEC. I mean, it's a powerhouse of a softball conference, just like all other sports. And I am by no means saying OU's done this year. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying they're going to have to figure some things out offensively, and yeah. I don't know where they look at there and who's it going to be, but it's not going to get easier. They got tough matchups down the stretch. I will say this team you would think with the competition they played would be the most ready than some of the other teams they've had that have won the national championship when you get into postseason, because they have played pretty much high caliber teams. So.
Yeah,
I'm putting Abby Dayton back in the leadoff spot.
I like Dayton at leadoff too, Jeremy.
I'm putting Dayton back at leadoff or Agbayani, but I'd go with Dayton, and I'm moving Pickering back down to the 3 hole. Let's go with what you were cooking with. They kind of changed the lineup.
Something else that I would like to see as permanent change is Maya Bland in that 9 hole too. I think
defensively it could hurt you though defensively.
Yeah,
do you guys feel like they're pressing?
Yeah, I think they are a little bit.
Do you?
Obviously.
They're trying to find some offense that works. I mean, there's nothing.
Do you think they're being too patient at the plate?
A little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Patty Gasso alluded to it, guys. She said nothing against Bama. They pitched really well, but Patty Gasso she is not happy right now. She's not happy with the approach of the players at the plate. She's just not very happy right now.
Right, and I'm tired of Oklahoma constantly, when it's a 3-1 count, Oklahoma not swinging. They take that pitch all the time.
Exactly.
And to me, that is the most frustrating thing. 3-1 and 3-0, that's a hitter's count. And you want to have the opportunity to make plays in that. And Oklahoma, for some reason, it's just we're going to sit back and watch and try and take a walk. And Jeremy, I do agree too. I think there's some lack of energy as well. I think somebody needs to bring the juice, the energy. I don't expect anyone to be a Jada Coleman or Alyssa Brito with that energy. But as a team, somebody needs to step up and just do something at this point. It's getting really annoying and frustrating, I think, as an Oklahoma fan to watch.
Hey, I got to say, last thing I'm going to say when you close this up, but I also think there's a lot of people that expect Oklahoma just to go sweep every series. It's ridiculous. This team is very young. I don't care if you're the most talented team in the country recruiting wise or not. Some of them are true. A lot of them are true freshmen. A lot of them are transfers. I mean, if this was any other sport, a lot of people would be like, it's going to take a little bit to kind of get them all together and figure it out. So I think that you gotta understand that as an OU softball fan, that this isn't – Germ, shake your head all you want. That's fine.
You're one of those – Jay, you're one of those people. That's why I was doing that.
What do you mean I'm one of those people?
You've been one who, if they lose a game, you're really questioning things.
No, because I've said from day one, this team it's different than the other teams, Jeremy. They're too young. They're very young. It's going to be hard for them to go all the way and win the national championship. I've said that.
It'll be difficult. It was difficult for the last 4 years to win a championship.
Yeah.
It's always going to be difficult. I agree, Jay. They're young. It's going to be difficult. I'm not counting the team out. I'm picking Patty Gasso over everyone else when we get to the postseason. But
I agree.
So this is a bump in the road. Hopefully it doesn't become a valley on the journey. Hopefully it's just a bump or a small pebble. But 2 series in a row is something this team is not accustomed to. So they're going to have to turn around. They got Friday at Devon Park, I believe, against Mississippi State. So get out there and watch it. Thanks for watching the Sooner Surge. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't. Check out the Fan Stop. Sooners lose walk-off fashion in Tuscaloosa, losing the series 2-1. We'll catch you next time.